Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is your boy CIZY back at it again with another episode of the College Stutter Show. Or for some of you, it was formerly known as the Culture Talk Show. So I gotta make sure I pay some respects to the people who've been here since episode one. Shout out to y'all. But look, we back at it again with another episode, and I tell you guys every Friday I'm coming back with a fire guest. I've yet to do it again. I don't lie because truthfulness is the foundation of all human virtues. And I like the foundation of things. So I got to make sure I establish it. You dig what I'm saying? And with that being said, if you're watching this on video right now, you already see who we got here. You see the brand on the t-shirt. You see the perfect beard. You see that my boy got the good beard oils going on. You see the good smile. You see the shining head. Look, let me stop hyping brother up. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the folks.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm James Thomas from Kansas City, Missouri, representing my company, Brain Freeze Daiquiri Shop.
Yes, yes, yes. KC Mo in the house. I've yet to bring back another guest from the town, and y'all gotta respect it. If you ain't from KC, you gotta make it here because we got a booming entrepreneur community. We got a booming, it's been booming barbecue community. We got a booming artistry community, a whole bunch of dope ass artists. So if you ain't been to KC yet and you're listening to this podcast, make sure you tap in. Before we jump into the episode, I'm starting to do something new, and that's making sure that my guests plug their business and where you can find them before we start the show, because that's where the majority of people are mostly listening is the first 0 to 5 minutes. They might cut out or pause it because they got to work on their drive to work. So make sure before we get started, James, that you tell the people where they can find you, how they can support your business, and what your business is, and then we'll jump into the questions for the day.
Yeah, of course. My website is brainfreezedac.com, brainfreezedac.com. Check me out on Facebook and Instagram on brainfreeze_Lawrence, and also on TikTok under Brain Freeze Daiquiri Shop. I'm a mobile daiquiri shop in Kansas City and Lawrence that serves daiquiris and margaritas to private parties and public parties, so festivals, parades, weddings, divorce parties, engagement parties, any type of party you want to throw. I can be there. I'm your guy.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And we are going to get into how that business started, why it was started here in a little bit. But before we do that, let's start with James. Where are you from? Where did you grow up? And how did that shape who you became today? I know you mentioned that, you based here in KC, but are you from KC? Go ahead and talk about your early beginnings and where life got established for you.
Yeah, born and raised Kansas City, Missouri, off of 62nd and Chestnut. My parents, we lived in the same house for 40 years and still live there now since I was born. So, I grew up in the inner city. My dad was a postman, delivered mail for 25, 30 years. My mom worked for an insurance company. And, they met in Kansas City, got married, had two kids. I'm the youngest of two kids. And being born and raised in Kansas City, you see a lot of what you can have and what you don't have. And so my parents made sure that I got a good education. So I stayed in private school from preschool through high school and made sure that they instilled in me education that was important. And so from, me being in a college preparatory school and education sector, I went on to college, went to UMKC, got my degree in economics, and I was like, I'm gonna make something out of myself. So I always want to be a businessman. I always want to be someone that has something for himself that I can say, hey, that's mine. I'm making my own money. And that's what I'm doing now.
I love it. I love it. And so you mentioned college preparatory school. So which college prep did you go to growing up? Or let's just start with high school. Where'd you go in high school?
So for high school, I went to Blue Ridge Christian. It's in Raytown, off of Raytown Road.
And what was that experience like? Not too many kids in Kansas City are getting to go to or experience schools outside of the public sector. So most kids are gonna go to Northeast or to Southeast or I mean, it's not technically public school, but it kind of is Paseo or Hogan Prep. So talk about
Mm-hmm.
your experience, or Raytown High School or Raytown South. So talk about your experience at the school you went to. What do you think was different in comparison to some of your friends that went to maybe Ray South, Raytown, Ruskin? Like, talk about that experience and what high school was like. How big was your class sizes? Were there benefits? Were there some negatives? Talk about your story in regards to 14 through 18 in high school.
Yeah. So going to the high school I went to was a Christian school. So they're very much, focused on religion and education. So, every day you have Bible class, or you have chapel on Wednesdays, and you have to answer a questionnaire. Do you go to church? Are you Christian? Things like that. But also make sure that you got the best education that they could afford. So, it wasn't free. You had to pay, so much money per year to attend the school, since it was a private sector school. So it was very much, if you're paying for the school, you're going to get a good education regardless.
Mhm.
And so I was one of, I think, 38 people in my class that graduated.
Wow.
So it was a very small class.
That
Everybody knew
was the
everybody.
size of my second period math class.
Yeah, so it was very small. Everybody knew everybody. It was, I was one of maybe like five people that were of color in my class.
Mhm.
So it was like, okay, you're, one of the few black people that's in this school. And, what are you gonna do for yourself after college? I mean, after high school? Are you gonna make something of yourself, or are you gonna be statistic? So it's very much, you here to learn this education. They force and make sure that you got the best private education you can get. And I was proud for that.
I love it. I love it. And so when you finished high school, you made the decision to go to UMKC straight out, or did you go to junior college before UMKC, or was it straight to UMKC? And why did you make the decision to get a degree in economics? I know a lot of people have sometimes a just straightforward story of like, shit, I didn't know what else degree to get, or they have a extreme interest in a specific topic. Whatever one of those it is, I'd love to hear why you chose economics and why did you choose to stay here in Kansas City?
Yeah. So when I graduated high school, I was going to Missouri Western my first year. That's in St. Joe, Missouri.
Hmm.
So my freshman year, I went to Missouri Western. Went there for a year. My major was actually business management at that time. And so I was like, okay, I'm away from home, whatever, I'm out here doing this and that. And, my grades wasn't representing, the money I was paying for in tuition.
Hmm.
So, your freshman year of school, you're out there, having a good time and just doing whatever you want to do. And I'm really focusing on what you need to be getting done. So I came back home and finished my last 3 years at UMKC, and I changed my major to economics because I wanted something that was something that not everyone else has. Everyone has a business degree. Everyone has a business management degree. Everyone has that. But what is something that is unique, but it's still like business and economics? And so I was like, economics is, more like a think of numbers and things like that towards the business side of it. So I switched my major to economics and finished that. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go out here and do, make myself look like more, more important than what I really am. So yeah, so economics was the one that won and got me to where I'm at today, to where I can do numbers and figure out how to make my business grow and succeed.
Hell yeah. And speaking of numbers and then graduating college, based off the research I did, it looks like you spent around 10 years in logistics, like in the logistics world, working in talk about it. Talk about like what industry? I mean, logistics is the industry, but what specific niche were you working with? Trucking? Were you working logistics behind a specific type of business, or were you logistics in? There's so many things that logistics touches. So talk about the past 8 to 10 years before you started your business, which we're gonna jump into here in 2022 when you made that decision to make that jump. But
Yeah,
prior to that, what did work life look like for you, and why did you choose to stay in that world for those years?
yeah. So when I graduated college, I had my degree, and I was like in a phase where a lot of people are. What do I do with my degree? Do I stick with economics and do economic stuff like write reports and look at numbers all day, which I don't do, which I hate, or do I do something different? So I was out, applying for jobs and things like that, and I saw that a UPS ad for logistics. I was like, logistics. That sounds. I seen the commercials on TV. That seems pretty easy and intriguing. Like, why not do something like UPS doing the commercials? And so I applied for a job with another company, a Japanese company in logistics. I had two interviews, and they hired me after two interviews. And logistics is a wide range of things. It can be plane, it can be boat, it can be train, it can be car, it can be anything. Logistics is a wide sector that people really understand and know about. Like most stuff that you get today is by logistics.
Mhm.
either by train or through the boat. So I started out doing intermodal logistics, which is like train, pretty much making sure that customers get the orders put in, picks up on the train, gets shipped on the train to destination, and it gets uploaded on the dock at the receiver. So pretty much it's been, I would say, about 12 years of me, doing logistics in various capacities. So I did truck, I did train, I did refrigerated. So
Wow.
logistics has been like my baby, I
I
guess.
love it. No, I love it. And 10, 12 years in the industry, there's a lot of skills you pick up. There's a lot of knowledge you pick up. So as you made the transition into entrepreneurship or made the decision to, start a business, let's actually, let's touch before I ask the question I was just gonna ask, let's touch on when did you start your business and why rum, why alcohol, why daiquiri, like why there, why
Why
not,
alcohol?
man, why not real estate, like talk about what you got you really interested in in that world, because personally I see the drinks, they look super tasty. They look super delicious. So that could be one
I'm
great
about to get
reason.
you
But yeah,
one.
man, mandatory. But go
Yeah.
ahead and share how you got interested in that business and when you started it.
Yeah. So during COVID, well, right before COVID, I was starting to know, let me go ahead and start doing my business things on my own, like doing, what I want to do, my true passion, what I want to fulfill in life.
Hmm.
And so right before COVID, started doing Airbnb. So I get buy a whole bunch of stuff for Airbnb, start looking at apartments to, rent out and things like that. Right before we signed the lease on the apartment, COVID happened.
Oh
So
damn.
then when COVID happened, everything shut down with
Yep.
nothing going on, with nobody traveling. So everything that involved me doing the Airbnb part of it, that shut down and that closed that part out.
Right.
So I was sitting around the house, during COVID, just sitting there thinking like, hey, what can I do next since COVID is shutting everything down? And so I started thinking about, I like to travel. Travel is one of my favorite pastimes to do. So, over the years, I traveled to, Houston and Dallas and Atlanta and New Orleans. And every time I go down there, we go to a daiquiri shop. That's first thing we do. Last thing we do, we go to the daiquiri shop. And every time we go to the daiquiri shop, tons of people there, everyone's happy, having a good time. And liquor makes everybody happy for some reason. Everybody's a best friend or an enemy over some cocktails. And so I was like, wow, I should go into Kansas City because Kansas doesn't really have like a daiquiri shop. And I was like, yeah, I should go into Kansas City. So my version of it was that I don't want like a sit down type of establishment. I want like a to go type version of daiquiri shop. And so about a year and a half ago, I started working on my business plan and starting to like work on concepts and different things and my vision for the business that I want. And so my original plan was to have like a small shop where people just walk up, order the drinks and take it to go. Or like a drive through, pull up to the window, have a drive through, order your drink and take it to go to where you want to go. So at the time I was working on that, Kansas and Missouri didn't have legal legislature to make it to go permanently. It was
Oh
just
wow.
temporary laws allowing you to sell alcohol.
Hmm.
So I was like, another stomp on the road. Like I
Yep.
can't do what I want to do. And then about a year ago, I was at home working from home and I saw on the bottom of the screen that made it permanent to go. I was like, perfect.
You're like clutch.
God heard my cry. Yes, I came through in the clutch. So then I started working my business plan again, working on different ideas and different things like that. And so my vision right now is that, you know what? I want to take it to where people are at, get my name and face out there, get my branding out there, take it to where the people are at. So right now I'm doing a mobile daiquiri shop where they've got a festival, a parade, a pool party, or different things in Kansas and Missouri. I can be at and be mobile service to you guys.
I
So
love
I can sell daiquiris, margaritas, and things like that. So I'm starting to get, the grassroots, bootstrapping and getting down and dirty with people. Say, hey, I'm here. Where you at? I can be there too. Get my name in the face. Someone knows who Brain Freeze is.
Absolutely, I love it. And speaking of logistics, like what are the logistics behind a mobile daiquiri shop? So, are you looking to, raise funds to buy like a van or like a truck, or are you looking to have like more of a like a, like the stands they got in New York where you just kind of pull up with the cart and everything set up? Like what's the logistics behind your daiquiri shop, or what do you plan on doing? I know you said it's the grassroots process right now, kind of like hustling, trying to get the word out there and start making it happen. So when you think about logistics behind your business, what all is needed to, create or allow your vision to manifest?
Yeah, so pretty much for Missouri and Kansas, you have to have like a home base in both states.
Hmm.
So I have a base in Kansas that is a head base. I have a base in Missouri. So pretty much I'm working towards. Unfortunately, I can't have a truck because of alcohol.
Yep.
Because I
Yeah.
thought about
Yeah.
it, well, do like a food truck, whatever. It's like no, you can't do a food
You
truck
can't
with
do that.
alcohol. I was gonna pull up like the ice cream machine
Man,
back in
like
the
the ice
day,
cream
just
man,
put some
what you
music on.
need? Oh Lord, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about that. Imagine they did have little like, I know it's different than daiquiris, but imagine they could like pull up in the neighborhood and they just like got Henny on deck, like Henny, Jameson, what you need? I got it.
Everybody need a
Dun,
shot.
dun, 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 dun.
Right.
That's
So I was like, well,
hilarious.
I'll do like a truck, whatever, have some music going on. It's like, no, you can't have a truck with music, so alcohol. I was like, dang it. So pretty much I have like a tent and I can do indoor, outdoor events. So that's how I need it to be somewhere downtown. I can pull up downtown, bring out my truck, set up the tent with my tables, put my machines on top of the tables, and sell daiquiris like that. So, pretty much is I'm having to figure out a way how to um, work the system without abusing the system, I guess.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So just yeah, so making sure that people know who Brain Freeze is. By the time I get to my brick and mortar store, that's going to be like a drive-through daiquiri shop. They're like, oh yeah, I know Brain Freeze. Yeah, I got good drinks. I want to have a reputation that I know them. They did the parties and things like that, and they got good drinks. Let's go get the little daiquiris out there and go to another party, whatever.
Hell yeah.
So that's what I'm working on.
And for those who actually don't quite understand what exactly a daiquiri is, or like just how it's made, can you kind of break down that process? I'll tell you what, like, not and I for all the listeners out there who, when I say this, y'all be like, stop trying to brag. I'm not trying to brag, it's just a fact. I don't think it's something to be bragging about. I'm just saying it's me. So I've personally never drank before. So I don't know shit about alcohol. I don't know shit
Wow,
about like that world in general. That's why this is an interesting interview to have. So,
you're a
can
daiquiri
you
virgin.
yes, I am. So could you please explain what that is to me, really? I'm just asking for me. I was trying to hide it and say it's for the game, but for the audience, but actually I just don't know. So can you kind of explain what it is to me? I did a little Google search, but I want to hear it from the master's mouth.
Sure. So daiquiri is pretty much a frozen cocktail on ice that's frozen. Kind of like 7-Eleven Slurpee.
Hmm.
That's a frozen drink that you just put the tab and get the Slurpee out. That's what it is, but with alcohol in it. So pretty
Okay.
much it's just the flavoring of the alcohol, the liquor, and water. Put it in the machine, stir it up, and you have a daiquiri right there. So
Okay.
it's pretty
And
much, just
does it
yeah.
is it like stronger than a normal drink, or do people normally get it in the summertime? Is it more of a season drink? Like, why would I guess you know like, imagine I'm like an investor that's questioning you. So why would somebody choose like a cold alcoholic drink or iced alcoholic drink over a just a standard drink on ice or something?
Yeah. So, it's definitely a spring and summertime drink.
Hmm.
Like definitely be outside, an event, whatever. Excuse me. And you're trying to cool off and stay cool. After a couple minutes, that ice in your cup with the regular drink is gonna melt. When it's
Facts.
9500 degrees outside, it's gonna melt. Whereas
Hmm.
if everything in your cup is already frozen, slushy form, it's gonna stay cold longer. You're gonna enjoy that drink.
Hmm.
So it depends on who makes it. So if I make it, you don't taste liquor. You're gonna
Okay.
taste everything like, oh, this is actually worth my money that I spent. I want to get another one. So you actually gonna taste the liquor in my drinks. I'm a little bit heavy handed. I'll be trying to stop the bottle, but keeps pouring down alcohol when I'm trying to make the drink. But yeah, but you can actually Taste like I think just more alcohol in daiquiris than actually a regular drink. Because the times you go to a restaurant, whatever, like dang, this drink don't taste like nothing. It tastes like
Mhm.
water. Well, in a daiquiri, you're gonna taste the alcohol. You might not taste it at first, but it'll sneak up on you. But in the first drink or second drink, you'll feel that liquor in your system for sure.
You're gonna be moving.
So definitely a daiquiri has more alcohol in it, plus it's a cooler drink. And
I
then
love it.
in the fall and winter time, I can transition to like a wine slushy,
Mm,
pumpkin spice type slushies,
mm,
Christmas flavored kind of drinks,
yeah,
things like
yeah.
that. So daiquiri is a year round thing. Just have to change the flavor into it to adjust to the seasonal periods of the year.
That makes sense. I love it. I love it. And
Hmm.
Uh, are you thinking more of like a Scooter's business model, like Scooter's coffee shop, where they kind of just have like these small little, drive-throughs where you pull up, there's like one, two people in the stand, and they, the workers got some AC or some heaters in there, but they're just making drinks and people are pulling by. And are you thinking like that type of vibe, or are you thinking more of a shop where you got to walk in at like a shopping mall and they're in there, you can grab a drink? Like what's the vibe you're thinking?
Yeah, it's definitely a scooter's vibe. It's going to be my long term model is definitely to be like, you pull up to my window, place your order. Hey, I want a strawberry daiquiri. I want a gallon size. Okay, cool. You total, $10, whatever.
Hmm.
Make the daiquiris. There'll be one or two people in the building, whatever, making it for you. Pass you your drink. You pay for it, and you drive off to where you want to go. So it's very much, convenient. Never have to get your car. If there was somebody, taking too long, but maybe it might take too long. You never know. But it's very much a convenient factor that I want to do it brain free. Um, people nowadays don't want to be inconvenienced. They want to be convenient. They want to stay in a car. They don't want to have to deal with the hassle of having to do too much work. So we do the hassle of taking the order for you, making the drinks for you, and just staying in your car and don't have to worry about nothing.
I love
So
it. I love it.
so we don't have to worry about monkeypox, no COVID, no nothing like that.
Good, good, good. I woke up with a fat ass headache this morning. I was like, "Oh Lord, I think I got something." But luckily enough, yeah. Hey, look what I got on deck right here. Luckily enough, we negative. You know what I'm saying? So, so we good. But so brain freeze. Why Lawrence? And I mean, I understand Kansas City. You're from here. Why'd you choose Lawrence as the location in Kansas? Was it a college town? Was it you have friends and family up there? Do you have a connection? Like why not Overland Park or something like that? I wanted to ask that because I was a little confused when we met. I was like, wait, does he live in Lawrence?
Yeah, well, I moved to Lawrence about 3 years ago, so I've been in Lawrence for about 3 years. And everyone on Lawrence is KU.
Mhm.
Lawrence, oh KU, college town. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
And so one of the big factors of people that like to drink are college students. They like to have parties, like to have a good time. They like to get together. So it comes to KU games, just frat parties and just people in general like to get together in Lawrence. And I was like, well, why not do it tested in Lawrence first? People like to have a good time. It's a very social town. College students like to drink and have a good time. When I tested it in Lawrence first before I get to Kansas City. So Lawrence is my first pit stop on the way to the Kansas City.
Love it. I love it. And when you think about, a business, you always want to think about, you know, is it gonna make some money? So my follow-up question is like, what are the costs of the business? Like, what are some of the expenses? Obviously, the alcohol, buying the alcohol is a cost. What else is it? Ice? Is it the machines to make the drinks? Like, what are some of like the big costs of building and starting a brain freeze? Type store. Imagine somebody's coming to you and they're like, I want a franchise brain freeze. I love it so much. It's so good. I want to take this to Arizona. Like, what are some costs that they got to think about?
Well, one of the major costs that maybe in a mobile daiquiri shop didn't really realize how much it will cost is licensing.
Mm,
Licensing can be expensive and it can be a pain in the butt. Definitely dealing with the legal aspects of it. You have to know your legal rules because alcohol is very serious and the state doesn't play about alcohol, nor does the city. So licensing is expensive. The machine itself is also expensive. The machine, a good machine that's going to produce good quality is going to be like 5,000 per machine.
mm, wow.
So, if you want to have, 10 to 15 machines, that's, a nice bucket of change right there. You need to cop up for.
Yeah.
So I'll say the two major things is the licensing and the machines itself. That's the biggest expense that you have.
I love it.
Alcohol, you can get, liquor from the distributor for, wholesale pricing, and the mix doesn't cost that much. But it's just the machines and the licensing will
Knock
get
you
you
over
every
the
time.
head.
Yes,
I love it.
it's still hitting me in the head right now.
Hey, understandable, understandable. I love it.
Yeah,
Well, for those individuals who are listening right now and they're like, "Wow, that drink sounds super fire." I know you kind of shared at the beginning of the podcast, but one more time, tell them how they can find you and how they can support your business or get in contact with you before we move on to our next few questions.
yeah. Hit me up at brainfreezeDAQ.com or on Instagram and Facebook at brainfreeze_Lawrence or on TikTok at brainfreeze Daiquiri Shop.
I love it. I love it. Go tap in with my guy James. He got the drinks on deck, ready to hook you up with the good summer cool down. And don't worry, because when that winter
Because it's
hits, he
hot.
got something ready for you too. Don't worry.
That's right.
I love it. I love it, man. Thank you for sharing a little bit more about your business. I kind of want to ask you a few more questions about yourself. You know, when you meet someone new and they come up to you and they're like, "Hi James, my name is Majango, like what's cracking, like whatever," and they talking to you like when if someone came up to you and they asked you what's the most important thing I need to know about you, what would you tell them?
Mm, about me.
It's a hard question. The
Ooh,
most
this
important
is
thing
a
somebody needs to know about you when they
this is
are
a
first becoming your friend.
this is a Dr. Phil question.
Yes,
We
it
gotta get deep
is.
in. Pretty much, to know me is to love me. Sometimes I can be a little shy at first if I don't know you. I can be like, what do you want? What's your intention? Where are you going with this? Like, trying to figure you out. But once you get to know me, you're like, oh, James is pretty cool. Like, once I ride for you, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. I support my friends 100%. Whether they're right or wrong, I'm gonna let you know, but I'm gonna say I love to you. But just that I'm the person that you want your team to support you. I'm there to support you, give you advice, mentally, spiritually, whatever help you need. I'm that person that will always lead you. But you know what? That wasn't the best idea. You shouldn't slash them windows out. But I see where you're coming from. Just make sure you wipe off your fingerprints afterwards.
Yeah, you there to support and have they back on the way out.
Right.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And you mentioned your parents were both some pretty hard workers growing up and really cared about your education. Can you share some of the other principles or character traits that you think you pulled from your parents that you really value? Maybe a lesson they taught you, or maybe again, a certain, characteristic that you really held on to that they instilled in you growing up.
Yeah, they always make sure that I always represent who I am. So no matter where I'm at or what I'm doing, I'll make sure that I am showing the best of me and not the worst of myself. Don't be out here looking like a fool in the streets. And then, someone's like, oh, I saw your son at such and such doing such and such. They can't say that about me. I'll make sure that, how I walk and who I am is who they represent. So making sure that, I come off presentable and respectable to everybody. I might let you get a little dig or two in, but after that, I'm gonna let you know, hey, you gotta chill out. You gotta respect, respect to respect. You gotta give it to receive it. So definitely to respect each other and to love unconditionally, no matter what.
I love it. I love it. And, like you just mentioned a second ago about some of the big investments you have to make in your business. There's also been some big investments you've had to make in your education. There's probably some big investments you had to make in relationships or friendships or with your family. So when you think back on the past, let's say 3 to 5 years, what's the best investment you've made? Whether it's money, time, energy, any of the three above, but what's the best investment you think you've made in the past 3 to 5 years?
I think 5 years ago was investing. Making sure some of my family was good. My daughter, make sure my daughter was coming up well, and make sure she had a good foundation, a good understanding, and make sure that she had the right things that she needed to succeed to being a teenager that she is now. I think now it's more now that she's set and established and she's on her own path. right now it's more focusing on me, making sure that I'm living out my dreams, making sure that I'm doing what I'm put on earth for. You know, everyone has a purpose and a destiny in their life, and we all have to walk on our purpose. So pretty much, you know, last couple years have really been walking into my purpose and finding out who I am and what I need to do in life and my calling. So definitely learning more and more and becoming who I am, who I'm meant to be.
I love that. And what's the biggest lesson being a parent has taught you, and how has that been able to assist you in your journey to become, a thriving entrepreneur?
Definitely patience.
Patience.
I think every parent would say patience because you know kids will never try you, even though they can be good kids. They'll have that moment that they can try you. It's like, okay, you test my patience now. I'm trying to be nice to you, but you're gonna learn sooner or later. Patience will run thin. But it's definitely taught me that to think before reactions. Um, Everything doesn't need a reaction to it. There's things where you know you have to sit back and be okay, should I say it this way? Should I say it that way? You know, if I say this, how would this person take it? Or if I say it that way, how would this person take it? And how's the outcome going to be? So definitely it's making me, you know, more patient to think about what I'm going to say and do versus just reacting.
I love it. I love it. I do want to have a few more questions for you about to double back on your business. And where I want to start there is your logo. How did you come up with your
Mhm.
logo? How did you why just the whole entire logo? Why those colors? Why that face? Why those eyes? Like how'd you come up with it? Who'd you hire? Did you draw it yourself? How'd you come up with the logo?
Yeah, I can't draw for nothing. My drawing skills do not work.
They
That
are
is not my talent from
subpar.
God.
Take off the sub.
Right. But if it's filling the outline, I can do that. But besides that, no. So like a year ago, I started working on my you know my business and everything. Started working on the grassroots of everything, and I reached out to a couple different people, some friends, and I was introduced to Jessica Pike. She's in Kansas City, and she's a professional graphics and design artist. And so we sat down and we spent you know hours sitting down thinking about what's my vision, what colors do I want, you know, what the purpose you want to be, you know, what's the demographics you want to attract. And so she sat down and we came with different designs and colors and things like that. And so at the top of it, it's kind of like a brain that's freezing. And so called brain freeze. So it's like it's a brain that's you know kind of exposed and it's freezing while you're drinking a daiquiri at the shirt. So it's you know kind of like putting the two together, you know, having a guy on it, like a what kind of person you want to have to make up the logo, and then making the words of my company represent, you know, what the logo is about. So she did an excellent job, and she's phenomenal.
I love it. I love it. James, this has been great today. I loved learning about your company. I can't wait to see it grow. Whether it's fast or slow, we know entrepreneurship is hard and we can't ever absolutely define how the path's going to go, but we can show up every day. And I can see in the energy that you have and the smile on your face and the fresh oils in the beard that you gonna kill this business thing. Just keep showing up every day. Can't wait to bring my lady out to try some drinks and looking forward to seeing how you thrive in the next couple months, in the next couple years. Before we sign out today, can you let the people know how they can support you personally? I know you mentioned the business, but how they can follow you and follow your journey. Maybe drop your personal socials if you're comfortable sharing, or if it's LinkedIn, how they can find you on LinkedIn, and then we'll go ahead and sign out for the day.
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, James Thomas on LinkedIn, James Thomas on Facebook, JT underscore eternal, I think on Instagram. I think, I'm not sure.
I love it. I
But yeah,
love
I'm
it.
on socials, Facebook and Instagram, brain freeze underscore law, I mean, underscore Lawrence. My website, brainfreezedac.com, and be on the lookout. I'm updating my website every week with more events that's on the calendar. So just be on the lookout and just see me out and about.
Hell yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, leave a 5-star review, as that's the only way we can grow. Thank you.